Hello, how are you today? Hope you are doing well actually. I want to take this opportunity to welcome you to MQTC episode 006. Unfortunately, we didn't get a winner for MQTC episode 005. We encourage you to continue participating. The answer to MQTC episode 005 is here for you. The previous question was solve for x in the equation 2 sine square x minus 1 is equals to cosine square x plus sine x, where x ranges from 0 degrees to 360 degrees. Solution: we will start by saying since sine square x plus cosine square x is equals to 1, then we can make cosine square x to be the subject of the formula by taking sine square x to the other side. That gives us cosine square x is equals to 1 minus sine square x. Then we replace cosine square x with 1 minus sine square x. Then you get 2 sine square x minus 1 is equals to 1 minus sine square x plus sine x. Then we say let sine x to be k. Then wherever there is sine x, we will replace it with k to obtain 2k square. I'm saying k square because sine x is the one that represents k. But in the first case here, we have 2 sine square. Then it means we will now have our k having a power 2. That's why I'm saying 2k square minus 1 is equals to 1 minus k square. Since we at that given place we add sine x, sine square x, that's why I'm saying k square, then plus k. Then putting like terms together, you get, or we get 2k squared plus k squared minus k minus 1 is equals to 0. 2k squared plus k squared, it gives us 3k squared. Then minus k, we know minus 1 is minus 2. Then we equate it to 0. So as you can be able to see, 3k squared minus k minus 2 is equals to 0 is a quadratic equation. To solve a quadratic equation, we have various methods. We have factorization, we have the completing square method, we have the quadratic formula. In this case, we will use the factorization method by saying sum, then product. Sum is the coefficient of k, which is minus 1. Product is the coefficient of k square, which is 3, times the constant c, which is 2 in this case. 3 times minus 2 gives us minus 6. Then we will ask ourselves, what are the two numbers? When you add them, you get minus 1. And when you find their product, you get minus 6. Those factors will be minus 3 and 2. We will proceed in the next page. It's a continuation from the previous page. So once we got the factors as minus 3 and positive 2, we are going to insert them in our quadratic equation. And now we are going to obtain 3k squared minus k plus 2k minus 2 is equals to 0. Introducing brackets for the first two terms and the last two terms, we are going to obtain 3k squared minus 3k plus 2k minus 2, all of them being in brackets as shown, is equals to 0. Then we look at the common factors inside the brackets. In the first brackets, 3k is common, we bring it out. Then inside the bracket, we are going to remain with k minus 1, then plus 2, meaning 2 is the common factor in the second brackets. So 2 being the common factor is brought out inside the brackets, we remain with k minus 1, then we equate to 0. The factors that are outside the brackets is 3k plus 2. So we say 3k plus 2 is equals to 0. And since we in the brackets we have k minus 1, and on the other side we have k minus 1, we only pick 1. K minus 1 we equate it to 0. But we know for us to be able to obtain k, when we have k minus 1 is equals to 0, we take minus 1 to the other side. Minus 1 turns to positive 1. Therefore, the first value of k is positive 1. Let's find the other value of x, the other value of k. So we take 3k plus 2 is equals to 0. We take the positive 2 to the other side, it becomes a negative. Then we divide by 3 on both sides. Therefore, the other value of k is minus 2 over 3. Since we have obtained two values of k, now we can go back and remind ourselves that sine x is actually equivalent to k. The first value of k was 1, so we replace k with 1 and say sine x is equals to 1. Then for us to be able to get the value of x, we find sine inverse of 1, which gives us 90 degrees. Then sine x is going to be equated to minus 2 over 3, and the minus 2 over 3 in decimal places is minus 0.666667. Therefore, we find the sine inverse of minus 0.666667, which gives us minus 41.81 degrees. That means the value of sine x is giving us a negative angle. So we will now go back to our unit circle. In our unit circle, whereby we have the four quadrants, in which quadrants do the values of sine theta becomes a negative? It is in the third quadrant and in the fourth quadrant. Therefore, for us to be able to obtain the values of x, we add 41.81 degrees to 180 for us to be able to obtain 221.41 degrees. And to be able to obtain another angle in the fourth quadrant, we take 360, then we subtract 41.81 for us to be able to obtain 318.19 degrees. Combining all the values of x, we now say generally x is equals to 90 degrees, 221.41 degrees, and then finally 318.19 degrees. Thank you for listening to me. The question for MQTC episode 006 is here. A reminder, marking to be done on Friday latest by 9 p.m. Wishing you good luck. The question is, in a fundraising committee of 72 people, the ratio of men to women is 7:2. Find the number of women required to join the existing committee so that the ratio of men to women is changed to 4:3. Remember to subscribe, like, share, and comment. Thank you.